I am so excited that you have tuned in to the Ella Johnson Show tonight. Coming up on the broadcast, I'm interviewing 9-year-old Teedric Tee-Boi Barkley out of Tampa, Florida, who's an exceptional 9-year-old athlete. Now, he didn't get that way on his own. He has a story also, but he had mentors and coaches that were guiding him along the way. Tonight, one of those mentors, Coach Chris Ward, will also join us on the broadcast. He's going to talk about his program that he has designed in Tampa that's changing minds and changing the lives of our youth every day in Tampa Bay. That's all coming up next right here on the Ella Johnson Show. Stay tuned. I am so excited that you have tuned in to the Ella Johnson Show tonight. Coming up on the broadcast, I'm interviewing 9-year-old Teedric Tee-Boi Barkley out of Tampa, Florida, who's an exceptional 9-year-old athlete. Now, he didn't get that way on his own. He has a story also, but he had mentors and coaches that were guiding him along the way. Tonight, one of those mentors, Coach Chris Ward, will also join us on the broadcast. He's going to talk about his program that he has designed in Tampa that's changing minds and changing the lives of our youth every day in Tampa Bay. That's all coming up next right here on the Ella Johnson Show. Stay tuned. Hello, everyone out there. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the Ella Johnson Show. If you are tuning in from YouTube or Facebook, thank you. Now, if you're on YouTube, please just subscribe to the show and to the channel. But if you are on Facebook, just share it. We have a very special guest with us tonight. Look at him. Teedric Tee-Boi Barkley is in the house. A smile like that. How can you just not love him? You know, I am just so excited, Tee-Boi, because you came in from practice just to be on the Ella Johnson Show. I'm excited about that. Are you excited?
Yes, ma'am.
He's just too cute. Listen, I am excited that you're here, Tee-Boi, because, you know, I believe for everybody that's out there watching, if you have grandkids or you have children, whatever the case may be, I think that we should take time to catch our children doing good things. And that's what this broadcast is about tonight, is we want to talk about Teedric because he's doing some wonderful things as a 9-year-old. You're 9, Teedric. You're in 4th grade. You're making good grades. You are an all-around athlete. You play baseball and basketball and football. Like, you're amazing. Are you excited about that?
Yes.
Well, who is that lady that's sitting behind you? I'm sure all of our guests would want to know who she is.
My mom.
No. Well, Teedric, I want you to say hello to my guest. Everybody has been waiting on you all week because they're like, we really want to know this young man that's amazing and has a great story. Which is your favorite sport?
Basketball.
You like basketball? Why do you like basketball better than the others?
Because, like, I don't know. I just like it. Because I grew up playing. I just grew up playing it, so obviously it became my best sport. my favorite sport.
Well, you're good at all of them. Like you're award winning in every single one of them. I mean, that's pretty incredible. So you'll have your pick that one day when it's time to give out scholarships because you can do all three. So when was the first time you picked up a basketball? Since that's your favorite one, when's the time you picked up a basketball?
Since I was 3.
3? Did you know how to hold the basketball at 3?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No. Well, let me just show this. I want everybody to take a look at this because sitting behind him is his mom, Toya Barkley. Welcome to the show, Shay.
Good evening.
Well, I want you to talk about this. Now, T have a nice photo that I want everybody to see, and your mom's going to talk about it. Look at that, everybody.
Who is that?
Look
That's me
at
right
that
there.
photo. Yes.
That's
That
me.
is you. Look at the little boy in the front. Too cute. And how old was he at that age? How old was he, Shay?
3.
He's 3 years old. Okay.
That's me.
So obviously we saw on that picture as well, Shay, we saw him with some photos of him in the hospital. Can you talk to us about that? Because Teedric has his own unique story. And I just think everybody needs to know why he's just so special. It's not because he can dribble the ball up and down the court, but it has a lot to do with what those pictures mean. Tell us about that.
Well, the one at the bottom was he was newborn. He was premature. He was born 7 weeks early. We got through that, and then the picture at the top, where he was 3 months old. He caught a summer cold that he ended up in the hospital, and it led to pneumonia. And the funny thing is, I was at work, and my brother, he's like, my brother Quint, Shay, you need to leave work and take him to the hospital. By the time we made it to the hospital, his heart had stopped. And they had to call Code Red, and of course we brought him back, and he was in ICU for about 2 to 3 weeks, and it was just up and down, and it was a very bad experience because when he was in ICU, his heart stopped again, and they had to bring him back once again. So he's been a fighter since he was little because at 4 months old, I found out that he had a cyst on his brain, and they actually didn't think he was going to make it. They said if he do make it, they say he wouldn't have a face, he wouldn't have a nose, he wouldn't have any of this. And of course, I called my late mom, I called my daddy, and then I called Granny, and everybody was like, go through, see what happens. And now we have this lovely, hyperactive 9-year-old,
very hyper. Yes.
little boy.
You're a miracle, Teedric. You are a miracle. And I am so inspired by your story because I remember when you were in the hospital. I remember driving from Orlando to come to Tampa to see you during that time. I remember that specifically. And I remember that we were there praying and speaking a word over you, and you are proof of prayers. And I mean, Shay, I mean, really, they said that he wasn't going to have a face.
They said he was not going to have a face.
What did they call it? What type of disease was that? What was that condition?
They just, I can't even tell you. She just told me he had a cyst on his brain, and we'll go into details when we get to the house. It was cyst on his brain. They had to do tests, and I just had to wait it out. He may be born alive. He may be born dead, but we were blessed that he was born alive, and look, he's here.
Wow. So at some point it turned around, though. At what point did he get better?
Just growing. Like we really didn't know anything. Yeah, we really didn't know anything to the day he was born. So he wanted to be here. He's here, and he's been fighting. He fought the first 3 months, and voila.
And then on that picture, let me show the picture again for everybody that just may have tuned in and have no idea what we're talking about. This photo right here, that is Teedric to the left as a baby. And then that's him as he got older at 3 years of age when he started with Coach Chris. And that's Coach Chris in the background there. And Teedric is now 9 years old, and he is still with Coach Chris.
Yep.
So I just think it's such a miracle. And the reason it's so important is because so many people, you're out there and you're fighting. You have kids that have conditions and issues and whatnot. But this is living proof what prayer can do. Absolutely. This is what prayer can do. Now, Teedric, I want you to tell us a little bit more about your basketball and everything that you do. You have what position do you play?
Point guard and sometimes shooting guard.
Wow. So that means that you're the one that sets up the plays, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. I was recently at one of your games and I remember that you turned the ball over and I got real hyped because I was like, oh, absolutely not. And I was like, Teedric, you better get that ball back, boy. Did you hear me?
And I came back and got it back with a block.
Yes, you did. You made it happen. But I'm just saying, did you hear me? Or do you tune me out? Do you tune people out when you're out there playing?
I heard you.
You heard
She be
me?
the loudest one. She be the loudest one.
I have
Sometimes.
learned to be quiet.
Yeah, she be the
It's a work in progress.
She be the loudest one at every single last one of my games.
It's a work in
This
progress.
time it was you that was the loudest one.
Wow. Well, I just can't help it because I used to be a cheerleader, so it's just look. If I could have put on a cheerleader uniform, I probably would have done it.
She did say that.
Yes,
she did
yes. But I love it. How does it feel when you're out there and you're behind? You're looking at the scoreboard and you see that you're down. How does that feel knowing that you're behind? What's going on in your mind?
What's going on is like I can like help my team come back and tie the score because like in the championship when you was there when we was playing against the Young Bulls we was down and then by the time it was halftime I helped my team come back with the tie to tie the score and then we won.
It seems like you're the captain. It seems like you're the person that really inspires everybody. I paid attention to you when we were there at the basketball court, and I noticed how you interact with everybody. And your mom kept saying, "This boy knows everybody. This boy knows everybody." What does that feel like? Because it's like you're just going all over the gym, just spreading cheer and keeping everybody hyped for the game. Is that something that you do on purpose, or is that just who you are?
It's just who I am.
Yeah, you're very outgoing and you're good. Listen, Coach Chris is going to join us a little later, but he talks about handling your business in the classroom. And you're doing that. You're making good grades. What's your favorite subject in school?
Mostly science and mostly science.
So let me ask you a question. What do you think you want to do with your sports? Do you want to be a professional baseball, basketball, or football player one day?
Professional basketball one day. And make it to the NBA overseas.
Oh, you already have it planned out. So I'll get free season tickets, right? Yeah.
So you try your best.
I'll try my best to get you them.
I heard that. Well, I know that you have Coach Chris. You've been with him a long time. How do you like being with the Skills Center?
I like being with the Skills Center because like they help me with how to get better to use my left hand. But now I'm gonna miss this Skills Center that we're at right now because
keep going.
Because we're getting a new one. So I'm going to miss this one, and it's going to be a lot of memories. I'm not going to forget here.
So what has Coach Chris taught you that helps you out there on that court? What are you thinking about? Are you thinking about some of the lessons that he's given you when you're out there playing?
Yes, ma'am. He taught me how to like use my left, dribble full speed, go full speed with my left, and finish with my left.
Now you're the youngest out of 3 boys. How much fun is that? Are you spoiled?
Yes, ma'am.
I
Yes,
doubt
ma'am.
that. Are you really spoiled?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I know your oldest brother, Kobe, is coaches you sometimes. Do you to him?
Do I listen to him?
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
good. So because he plays basketball. All of you guys are sports. Christian is an athlete. Kobe's an athlete. Shay, you have a house full of boys that are athletes. Is there a
Yes, ma'am.
sister somewhere in the mix for
And she
Oh, they have a
Teedric?
god sister.
she love.
They have a god sister, but she's not gonna touch a basketball. So we're slowly trying to move Alex over to the basketball. Every time T-Boy see Alex, he's working with her.
Why can't she touch us?
She doesn't like playing basketball.
She likes to
Cheer and dance and all that lovely stuff.
Yeah, that.
Wow. So what is something that people don't know about you, Teedric? What is something that, we know you're an athlete. What else do you like to do besides play sports?
Focus on my grades in school. Seven.
We went out for a second there.
Okay.
Do you like playing video games, Teedric?
Sometimes, but mostly I like to focus on my grades in school. Cause with bad grades
Nice.
you can't.
So you like to,
Cause with bad grades you can't do anything. You can't play sports or like that. But if you have good grades, you can.
is your mom strict?
What does strict mean?
Like very.
Is she really hard on you and very particular about everything you do? And she's like that?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. You know what I love, because you are a country boy, just like I'm a country girl. And I don't hear kids say yes and no ma'am and yes and no sir. And you're doing that. Is that something that your mom is teaching you to do all the time?
Yes, ma'am.
It's a work in progress because a lot of people don't like to hear the ma'am part or the sir part, but it's a work in progress.
It does make you feel a little old, but I understand why you do it, because it's a Southern value that we all do. Because I still say yes and no ma'am to people. It's just something that's ingrained in us that we do.
Yes.
So what else do you like to do, Teedric? Do you like to eat? What do you like to eat?
Healthy stuff. Grapes, fruit. Yeah, that is a fruit. Grapes, strawberries, apples, bananas.
Wow.
Broccoli and other healthy food.
So you don't eat candy and all of that?
Every once in a while.
Every once in a while I do. But she got me stuck. She got me off of that.
Now, Shay, let me talk to you, because you're a mom. You're a single mom. Not trying to put your business out there, but I'm putting it out there just in case there's people that might be. I'm just, I'm trying to help you out too, But anyway, you're a single mom and you have these 3 boys. And I am very impressed with how you have just basically put your life on hold to mentor them and raise them to be responsible and respectable young men. How hard is that?
It's a struggle, but Kobe helped me out. And then I have, of course, Aunt Sean and Quint. When Quint was here, he was helping me out. But as far as raising them to be well-respected, educated men, it's a community. I have Coach Chris, Coach John, the coaches here, the Wilbur Davidson Boys and Girls Club, all of that staff help us out. Miss Tina, Miss Heather, Auntie Bobby. Kobe helped me out, Aunt Sean. It's a family effort. It's a community effort. So I don't do it by myself. I do a lot of it, but I got help along the way, a lot of help.
The reason I'm asking that is because you have people that are watching the broadcast that are single moms, and it's just so tough. They think it's so tough, and it's hard to juggle everything, work, the kids. Then you have to take them to practice. You have to travel everywhere, because this weekend you have another tournament that you have to go through. So you don't get to have this personal life that a lot of people dream of having. And what made you realize that, I have to put all of that on hold to be here for my children? What was that driving force behind that?
Them Them, I mean,
Yeah.
just having, as you can see, it's just them. You have to do right by
That's
them.
why she saves all of her money, because we do all of this traveling. Like Orlando, Fort Myers. Yeah, that.
So do you like when you travel and play ball, or you like just playing in Tampa?
A whole lot of traveling.
You do. You
I
guys are
love
gone.
it.
You're on the road a lot.
Yeah, this past weekend was our first break in 3 weeks, I think. And then we got one this weekend and next weekend as well. So
Yay!
Wow. So you don't get to play with your friends a lot, Teedric. Is that okay?
I
You're
don't.
always playing ball.
he got teammates. He got 9 of them.
Yeah,
Wow.
about that.
So tell me, what do you think about Coach Chris? What's your favorite thing about him?
He's goofy.
Really, dude?
It's true.
He's
That's the only.
goofy.
That's the only thing I can think about of him. Because half of the
What
time
about
he's
inspirational? There are a lot of words you could have said. You said goofy.
Yeah, the goofy
Now,
one.
what do you think he's gonna say when he knows that you called him goofy?
I'm crazy.
Yeah.
So he's
gonna
not
say
surprised. Well, guess what?
He-
He's here. He's here with us. You want to see him?
Yes, ma'am.
There you are. Welcome to the broadcast, Coach Chris.
He's on mute, Ella.
Oh,
There you go.
there he is.
Hello, how
All
are you?
right. So who is that, Teedric?
Coach Chris.
Yes, you could probably introduce him way better than I could. Coach Chris, I don't know if you heard him. I asked him to tell me a little bit about you and what's his favorite thing about you. And he said he's goofy.
Yeah, well, that's because I fight kids. Teedric
I
knows.
told you.
Next time I see him, I'm gonna fight him. Yeah. No.
Wow. Well, we
I
are just.
enjoy- the thing with me is I want kids to enjoy being in the gym. So sometimes you have to meet them where they are, but at the
That's
same
right.
time, you have to understand that there's a level of respect. Like we're not in the same place, but sometimes we have to meet them where they are and make sure that it's not just about basketball. I mean, they may be having a horrible day. You may have some things going on at home, and if you don't make it an enjoyable environment for them, then kids, they're not going to want to be around you.
I like that. Well, let me tell my audience a little bit about you, because you just came in there. It sounds like you're a little hoarse, probably been yelling. I mean, you just came in from practice too. So I want to thank you so much for taking Teedric. See, you got him hoarse. He's all hoarse trying to talk on the
He's
Ella Johnson show because he's crazy. Well, listen, guys, those of you that are just tuning in, I am sitting here with Teedric and his mother, Toya, and his coach, mentor, youth leader, Coach Chris Ward. And let me tell you guys a little bit about him. He's phenomenal. He played pro ball overseas for 7 seasons. He traveled to 8 different countries. He trains NBA players in their off season, and then he trains college kids that want to go to the NBA, in their off season. He's 6 years winning coach at Hillsborough High School in Tampa. That's pretty incredible right there. He was once employed by the largest sports management company, IMG Academy, over in Bradenton, Florida. He has a nonprofit organization, and this is how Teedric came through. They have a nonprofit with his partners, Celeste Roberts and John Arroyo, the Skills Center. They also have the program for Tampa Yes, the Yes Grant program. That he's appeared in several media outlets. He was raised in Televast. Now I have to tell you, I had never heard of Televast, Florida.
Well, most people haven't. It's a metropolis.
I hadn't heard of it.
Yeah, it's
I've been in Florida quite a while.
It's really big. So, I don't know why you have
Now you are really being goofy because it's how I'm from a small place, Monroeville, Alabama. It's small when people ask you, where are you from? And you say Televast. And then they have that look like, where? And you say, over there by Sarasota. And that's where it is.
You say off and tween.
Off between,
Off and tween
right?
Sarasota and Bradenton.
Off between Sarasota, right? I love it. Well, you have dedicated your life to giving back to urban communities because once you got out of the pros and now you're giving back. And I think that your knowledge of the game coupled with your passion for kids is a winning combination. Welcome to the Ella Johnson Show.
Thank you very much.
Yay.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
I am just honored to have you. You know, tell us about, and I just want to give a shout out to your wife and your family, because I know they're probably watching the broadcast, and you can
My
talk
wife
about
is
them.
flying.
You ever,
She's flying right now. She's
she's flying.
She's a flight attendant.
Oh, nice. For which
Yeah, so
airline?
Southwest.
Southwest. Okay.
Yeah, Southwest Airlines.
Wow.
So she's on her way back from, I think she was in Salt Lake City last night. I think. Don't get me, yeah, I think.
Right,
So she's
right.
flying back this way now. Yeah, so.
Well, tell us about what it was like when you were playing overseas in the pro. Tell us about that. How exciting was that being in all those countries?
You know, so my journey was pretty cool. I didn't respect or realize what the journey was about until later on. I got a little bit older. My first trip to Israel, I really didn't realize where I was just based on Israel. You're talking about the Bible. You're talking about places I
Right.
learned in Sunday school, in church. So my first trip to Israel was one where I kicked it. I had a lot of fun. I played basketball. I actually ended up getting hurt my first year. Second year, I got a chance to go to Spain. Man, I got a chance to do a lot. I mean, it was awesome. Got a chance to live amongst people and experience the culture, and experience the real. If I was in Israel, Lebanon, Spain, I got a chance to experience what it was like to live as a Spaniard, what it was like to live as a Lebanese or Israeli or Irish person. Like, I got a chance to live amongst the people. So I think that experience in itself was better than playing basketball because I got a chance to
Wow.
understand people and
Wow.
eat dinner, get invited to weddings, bar mitzvahs, just, you know, just enjoy it, enjoy the country, enjoy the person. So I think what that did was prepare me for what it is I do now. You know, if I can survive,
Yeah.
I can survive anywhere in the world. You know,
Wow.
so
That's a very good.
so, you know, it was a great experience. Basketball is basketball. You get a chance to get paid. You get a chance to play in a professional setting. But the experience and exposure and education that you get from the people was bigger than the game itself.
Wow. So you grew up in Tel Aviv. That's a very small place in Florida. What, you know, when we grow up in the country and we grow up in these small areas, it gives us lessons in life that we carry with us everywhere, no matter where we are, what profession we're in. What were those values like for you growing up in Tel Aviv that you took with you everywhere?
So, community, support,
Right.
family, love, respect, integrity, rep where you're from, positive vibes. You know, everything about, you know, where I'm from. I mean, to the point where, you know, it's the Wards, the Bryants, the Smiths, and we're a small black community. And if I had a game, everybody was at the game. My neighbors,
Nice.
people down the street, like they came to see me play. You know, just the support. I mean, it feels like family. You know, if you got in trouble in that community, you could get a whipping down the street. And,
Come on now.
If you made that person come off the porch, somebody else might whoop you. And then when you got home, you done made two people come off the porch to whoop you. You know, you're getting a double whipping at home. You know, so it was just, you know, it was that village that raised me. That village that supported me. It was where my father and his brothers and sisters where they grew up, where they still live and reside to this day. That's where they grew up. So, I mean, it helped me understand and respect my community and want to have an impact in my community. And so when you talk about being a person that's a community activist, I'm not a community activist. I'm not at all. I'm a person that's having an impact in my community. If you can't have an
I like
impact
it.
in your own, if you can't have an impact in your own community amongst your own people, how can you go out and change the world?
That's right. I love
Yeah.
that. Now, you play several sports. You play soccer, you played
Oh,
basketball.
yeah.
Uh how was that being, because that's the same thing I was talking with Teedric, he's all around just like you are.
Yeah, so we grew up. So I come from an athletic family. We grew up. My younger brother played professional baseball. He was a fourth round pick by the Pittsburgh Pirates as a pitcher. My older brother played college baseball. He was an outfielder. He played wherever he wanted to. I actually pitched my freshman year in college. I played baseball as well. So I was being scouted by the LA Dodgers, Toronto Blue Jays, Seattle Mariners. They were scouting me as a pitcher. I ended up pitching. I went to college on a basketball scholarship. Ended up asking if my baseball coach at the college knew that I was being scouted by these professional teams. So they asked my basketball coach if I could play baseball. And I actually ended up pitching my freshman year. Soccer, I grew up playing soccer from the time I was 4 years old until I was 15. And the only reason I didn't play in high school is because soccer and basketball is the same season in the state of Florida. And at times I would be the only black kid out there. Like where I'm from, it was only a couple people that played soccer. It was only a couple of people that
I'm
played
sure.
baseball. So at the level we played baseball on, you start losing kids of color in baseball, soccer, and those sports like that. You have the guys that play football and basketball more out of the hood. So, but it was a great experience. I have friends. I have a friend of mine that lives here in Tampa that I met playing soccer when we were 5 years old. We're still friends today, and it's from soccer. So and he lives in Tampa. So it just prepared me for everything. Being able to
Wow.
deal with people, being able to deal with cultures, diversity, just different situations.
So what led you to stop playing basketball?
I got hurt.
Got
So
hurt.
injury. Yes, ma'am. So I cracked my shin. I broke my shin. And so I signed a 2-year contract to go back to Lebanon and ended up cracking my shin and had to. I actually played about 2 months on a cracked shin. Didn't know it was cracked. So the only thing it didn't do was shift and crack through my skin, but it was broken all the way through. So once I got out of the cast and started having a
Oh,
lot of
wow.
and injuries in my hip area, to find out that I have no cartilage in my hips. So I have arthritis really bad in my hips. Actually, right now I need a double hip replacement.
Wow.
So it's just,
Oh, wow.
yeah, and that happened at an early age. So that happened at 28, 29 years old. So it was injuries.
Wow.
Yeah.
So at this point, now that you're hurt, you're out of the professional basketball league, what are you thinking at this point? Because at some point you end up going into working with kids. How was that transition?
So I've always worked with kids, even when I was in the professional sports. Um, they banned me from doing it, but I would do camps, clinics, anything to be around kids. When I came home for the summer, I would always be around kids. I would volunteer at I would work at the Boys and Girls Club, Wilbur Davis Boys and Girls Club at home in Tallabass. I would work at the community center. So I've always been around kids. Uh, my second to last year playing in Lebanon, we practice in the evening, or we practice first thing in the morning. Then I had the whole day. Then we wouldn't practice until night. So 3 times a week, I went in as a physical education teacher at a Lebanese American school. But the next year, the team put it in my contract that I couldn't do it. So
How did that make you
didn't know.
feel?
Oh, they were paying me, so it made me feel they were paying me a lot more. So what I realized is that God placed me in those situations to get the experience, to get the status, but where I'm supposed to be is where I'm at. I'm a conversation. I'm 6'7". I play professional ball. Every kid wants to do that. So I'm just a conversation for them. So I think that was the whole point of me having a chance to play professional basketball, was not to make millions of dollars, but to impact millions of lives. Not
Oh,
through
I
the
love
game,
that.
but
Yes.
through using the game to just get that status of being a conversation piece. That's it,
I
to
love it.
capture kids' attention. So I honestly feel that that was my reason for having that journey, was to, because if it was up to me, I would have played until I was 35. That was what I put in my books. So I was going to play until I was 35. And if I would have done that, then this wouldn't be happening.
Wow. Like you said, I think you're exactly where you're supposed to be. That was one of the reasons I titled this show Change Minds, Produce Change Lives, because you're dealing with the kids at a very peculiar age. This is, I think, the age where you're working with them is when you can really reach them. What message are you giving to the children at the Skill Center? What's the main thing you try to teach them?
Transferable skills. Transferable skills to be to communicate, to be heard, to be respected, to be responsible, integrity, anything that a kid, self-worth. You create your own, you create your own lane. You create your own wealth. You create your own worth. You don't let people define who you are. You define who you are. And it's just based on how you carry yourself, based
Right.
on how you conversate, it's based on how people view you. And for me, I don't want to give people anything negative to say about me. And if you have anything negative to say about me, it's just because you don't know me, and this, or you fear me, which is
Right.
not a thing either.
Yeah. I
So
mean, you're 6'7". I'm afraid of you too.
yeah,
Just
well,
saying.
and the thing, people shouldn't, people are afraid of you because they don't know you and they don't
Right.
understand you. Like, my job is to impact kids, impact my community. Parents say, thank me for doing what I do. And I tell them, thank you for trusting in me with your child's future, to be a part of your
Wow.
child's process. And so, it's a blessing to be trusted, or for a person
Well,
to trust
the
your child.
right. The kids are dealing with a lot of stuff, because they watch television. They know what's going on in the world, and they're seeing things like George Floyd. They're seeing things like Ahmaud Arbery. And these are young Black men that look like them. What do you say? How do you mentor the kids when they're dealing with the anger, seeing that and the stuff that they hear? Because by the time they get to you, they may have already been impacted. How do you shape their minds to get them on track when they're faced with those kinds of issues?
I ask that question all the time because it is a tough question, and it's this stuff has been going on forever. Like,
Right.
social media brings out all of it. I mean, that's what brings all the awareness to it. Social media, this stuff has been going on forever. Like, even when I was young, you know. So just teaching kids to educate themselves, to read, to be prepared. Um, I say locked and loaded at all times. So if a kid is prepared, they would handle situations like that in a different way. If they're educated on it, they would handle situations like that in a different way. People will they can be as combative as you want, but if you're not prepared for it, then that's when you can be defeated. If you're prepared for things like that, just having our kids to be aware of their environment. Everybody ain't your friend. Be aware
Oh,
what
wow.
people say to you. Be aware of how people respond. Be aware what you ask people for, because you might not like what you get and who you get it from. So it's just teaching our kids to
Yeah.
be aware. Pay attention to the media. I tell my son all the time the same thing. My son went to school in Fargo, North Dakota. My son is biracial, and I tell him all the time, I don't care what you say, you're a black man at the end of the day. You have to stay woke. You have to educate yourself. You have to be prepared mentally and physically, and spiritually. So just trying to get kids to understand who they are, where they come from, and that they define their worth and their wealth. That's it. You know, um, invest in your own people. Don't knock your people down. Invest in them. Keep them strong. Encourage them. And I think that'll pave the way. We have to start from inside. If we want things to change, we have to start from within, and then we can change it. You know, that's just those are my only words for them. It's tough. It's tough to tell a kid what went on with George Floyd and how to handle it, because you don't actually know what's going on in that kid's mind.
Right.
But the only thing we can do is prepare them and have them understand that, listen, it's happening. How are you going to respond to things like that? If it were to happen to you, how would you respond? So.
Well, let's talk about the skill center, because I know your partners Celeste and John, you guys came together. I think I remember reading that you met Celeste at the Boys and Girls Club. How
Yes.
did you guys all come together and come up with this idea?
So Celeste and I, Celeste was actually my boss for Youth Opportunity, which was a grant that was through the Department of Labor, servicing kids 14 to 21 that lived in empowerment zone. We were offering education, employability skills, just preparing young people in the hood for, experience, exposure, and opportunity. So we were just preparing them. And John actually came in. He worked for the YO program through the Y. I created a program called CETA, College Education Through Athletics. And we used it as a recruiting tool. So we wanted to serve those hard to reach kids, the kids that were out there on the corner. We wanted those kids. So I created a basketball league in order to bring those kids in, to give them the services that we had. But in order for those kids to participate in the basketball league, they had to give us an hour worth of their time before every game. So if I were doing a workshop on conflict resolution, they had to be there for an hour, and then they got to play. If I was doing a workshop on integrity, whatever it may be, we were doing workshops, they had to attend those workshops. So we had an 82% completion rate out of 120 kids. And we're talking about in the city. And these kids came there and they enjoyed it. And it picked up and it carried on. And so we were like, youth development through sports is a way to impact kids. So we start doing our research on it more and more. And we found that kids loved how to play. Kids communicate well when they play. Kids do all the things they need to do when they play. The issue is when they have in the classroom or in society. If you have that authoritative figure in the classroom, which is the teacher, why shouldn't a kid respond to the teacher the same way they would respond to the coach or an official? Because official can blow that whistle and they can kick you out of the game. So how can a kid go in there and score 35 points a night and not get a tech, but go into school and act a donkey and get referral after referral? So we found that teaching those kids, working with those kids, teaching them to transfer those skills from the play to the classroom, from the play to life, was big. And so that's how we came up with the Skill Center. We started doing it with Yo. In 2007, we sat down in my living room and we wrote up our non-for-profit and did our 501c3. And here we are 13 years later.
Yep.
Still balling on a budget. Yeah.
I told y'all it's crazy. Ain't that crazy?
Yeah, so we're still
Oh,
balling on the
wow.
budget, but we're still making it happen.
It's a great program.
Good.
It is.
It
It's a
really is.
blessing for us. It's a blessing for us, and we're a community-based organization. That means we want to impact our community. We
Yep.
want to collaborate. We don't do anything that we're not capable of doing. We use our resources for that. So if it's baseball, I'm not going out to teach baseball, even though I can. We want to bring somebody in. If it's the academic piece, I'm not going out and tutoring, even though I can. I have my master's degree. We all three have our masters. So we want to make sure that we want to be that visual for our kids. But at the same time, we want to bring in professionals that do that. We want to bring people in that specialize in SAT, ACT. We want to give our kids the same opportunity that other kids have, just at a very cheaper price.
And
Yeah, I
we
was just going to
utilize
ask you that. Yeah, I was just going to ask you that. Kids that are watching the broadcast, I mean, I know people, this is just for Tampa, but how do kids get in your program? What do they have to do? Do you offer scholarships?
We do. We've never turned away a kid. I've never turned away a kid for training. I just couldn't see it. I could never do it. The whole point, we have to pay bills. So that's the biggest thing. But I'm not pimping my people to get rich. I'm not selling my soul because a kid wants to come train or a kid wants to play in the league and they don't have the means. So we can't let them play. Like, that's just not going to happen. So sign up, register, get in contact with us. Any way you want to get in touch with us, and we'll help. If a kid wants to play and they don't have it, if we can't cut down on the price and help you out, if we need to eliminate the price, we'll help you out. But at the same time, we are non-for-profit.
So you're looking for donations? Are you looking for donations?
We look for sponsorships. We look for donations. We look for sugar daddies, sugar mamas,
volunteers.
Volunteers.
Definitely volunteers.
I know. I'm sorry. This is a family show, but
yes,
we look for resources.
Sugar daddies watch this show and sugar mamas. I mean, I'm just saying.
Well, I appreciate that. Long as we know. So we look for opportunity. We look for resources. We look for people that believe in what we are and who we are and what we do. And all money ain't good money. So we can't take everybody's money because they may want something different from what we're
absolutely.
What we're
I hear you.
So we're in the midst of raising funds, doing a capital campaign for our new facility. And so we need resources. Bloomin' Brand has given us money for naming rights. Jameis Winston just gave us a check, which is a very good check, a nice check. Who else? We just had a gentleman, Mr. Lou Bramante, who gave us a check towards the building. The Spleno Foundation gave us funding towards so we're getting a lot of hits and we still need more. We want people
Wonderful.
that believe what we do.
Right.
So that's it.
Well, you're sitting next to Teedric, and we brought him on the broadcast because I don't know if you heard the beginning part of the show where he was challenged growing up. I mean, his mom was giving his story about how he had this cyst on the brain and they didn't know if he was going to be born with a face, and he just started out as a fighter, but he's here. And because you are one of the mentors, we showed this photo at the beginning. I don't know if you saw it, but I'm going to put it up on the screen here. That photo right there. Do you see yourself? And you see Teedric, he's there. He's like 3 years old.
Yeah, I see him.
Yeah.
There go Junior and Jaden right there.
Yeah, Junior, Jaden, Mello, Christian.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
And so you were kind of there. You were kind of there with him from the beginning. And I wanted you to come because you're, like we always say, it takes a village. And you're definitely part of that village. I mean, what do you think about when kids, he's been with you for a long time. Do you have a lot of kids like Teedric that have been with you like since they were like 3 years old?
Yes, I do. We do. You know, I lost, man, I was big in that picture too. Ooh. Michelle
That's
got a big
because you just
picture.
next to little babies. That's
Hey,
all.
hey, look,
That's all it is. You're just
man, I
next to
was
You
little
about,
just next
babies.
to
man,
babies.
I was about 270 in that picture. No, so you know that's the whole that's what we're about. So I just put into play. I said I would stop coaching. I had a group. I had a team, fourth grade. I've had those kids since they were 9, 10 years old. They just graduated high school. So I said when they walked across the stage, I was done coaching. I would still do training, but I was done coaching. They just graduated. So those kids have been with me from 9 years old until they're 18. And I still keep in touch with them. But that's the whole process. That's the whole piece of it. We want to be in a kid's life from 3, 4, or 5 years old until they're 18. We want to be able to have that conversation with them because we want to have them being able to hear another voice, have someone they can
Right.
go to and have a conversation that they may not be able to have with their parents, you know, and still trust it. With my kids on my travel team, in order to be on my travel team, I had to be on everybody's parent list in order to get into the schools. So I can pop up on the schools on the kids for academics and behavior. You know, so and if I couldn't be on that list, they couldn't be in my program. You know, so just
Nice.
holding kids accountable, being in a kid's life, under having the kids understand it's bigger than basketball, that I'm going to hold you accountable for things you do off the court, in the classroom as a person. Um, it's big. And if you don't have that relationship from a place when they're young, uh, you may not ever have a chance to impact that kid's life because kids have to trust you, they have to believe in you, and
Absolutely.
they have to know that you have their back 100%. And kids can see through you.
Yes.
And he's
I
speaking
like
the truth.
I love that.
He
What were
met
you
Kobe
saying,
at
Shay?
5. I say he's speaking the truth because he met Kobe when Kobe was 5. Kobe's now 21.
Yeah.
And Coach Chris was actually on, he's very familiar with the team at the Boys and Girls Club, the after school program. And if anything happens and they know that Coach Chris is committed and with these kids, they actually have him on speed dial. Right, Teedric?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was watching one of your interviews, Coach Chris, and you said that you really teach the kids to handle their business in the classroom. And I remember that I was reading where you said that when you were a senior in high school, your grades were kind of, you know.
Oh,
So is
all
that
through
the
school.
reason? All
Look,
through school. Oh,
All
okay.
through school. Yeah.
Right.
I wasn't your role model student. I stayed in a lot of trouble in school. Like right now, if I were in school right now, I'd probably be out of school. They would probably put me out. No joke.
wow.
Like I was
Wow.
rough. In school suspension was one of my classes. So
Wow.
no joke. Um, and my behavior didn't change until my son was born. You know, so I understand who these kids are and how these kids are. No, they should hear it. And this is why I do what I do.
Look,
Because,
listen.
you know, I did the same thing with my son. My son was uh, actually he was removed from a school. He was kicked out of a school because of his behavior. And I stayed on him and I stayed on him uh, to the point where I just told him I wanted him to be a better version of me. Like that's what I
Wow.
want for him. Uh, I was a rough, like I was like, yeah, like my coach, my high school coach, when he found out, he said, "You work with kids." And I was like, "Yes, sir." He was like, "Really? You work with kids? Like, what do you do with them?" And I was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah."
Boy, come right
You
back.
know, and I was rough. Like I was rough. You know, my grades were really low, and it was just due to. And I come from a family. My father graduated from the University of Florida, first class to graduate black, 65. They didn't count it. They didn't count him as he and Judge Stephen Mickle. They didn't count it because both of them came from a community college and they were only there for 2 years. So they didn't count them as the first to graduate. They counted the first group to go through 4 years. They didn't count the first two. So I came from a family education was big. I told my son this too. I wish my father would have held me accountable more in the classroom for my academics and behavior. I wish he would have been a little bit rougher on me because I was rough on my son based on what I did. And I didn't want him to do the same thing that I did. So big on education. I went back to challenge my son. Not only to challenge my son, I told my father I would graduate. Not only did I graduate, I went back and got my master's because I know I had a young black man in my house and I wanted him to be experienced, exposed, and educated as well.
Have a
So,
Absolutely.
yeah, so
Absolutely.
he just graduated from college this past year with a business finance degree, and he's playing
Nice.
professional basketball.
Congratulations.
Yes, ma'am. And he's in Germany right now playing professional basketball.
Yep.
Oh, wow. So he's
Yes.
following right in your footsteps.
No, I want him to be better than me.
All right. I like that. Now,
Yeah.
I know that you, what were you saying, Teedric?
Every father wants their son to be better than them.
Oh, that is
Make them
absolutely
greater
correct.
than their father was.
That's right,
That's
bro.
right.
That is right.
That's right. So have you learned a lot from Coach Chris, Teedric?
Yes, ma'am.
And what would you say to kids that are thinking about going into his program? What would you say to them?
Be ready.
I would say be ready because he gotta get the work in to be able to play, like become a superstar.
Wow. So Coach Chris, what do you say to the kids that, because you played professional ball, and I'm sure a lot of the kids in your program, because you said that they all want to play professional. What do you say to the ones that don't make it to professional baseball or basketball or whatever the sport may be?
It's so many other things that you can do.
Okay.
Like I said, I've had a chance. I was blessed to be able to go and play, but I don't think that was my purpose. I think that you can use all the characteristics of the sport, the components of the sport, and become a better person. Work ethic, become a team player, communicate better, be responsible. It's so many things kids can do. If you're not good enough to play on the college level or pro level, you can be a coach. You can be a developmental specialist. I call myself a developmental specialist. And the reason why I say that is because you call the guy at the YMCA or the Boys and Girls Club, you call him coach, and you pay him $8 an hour. You can't pay me $8 an hour. I'm sorry.
No.
So, I'm just saying, like, I'm not trying to be like arrogant about it, but I think kids can be so much more. There's so many. I mean, there's Stephen A. Smith, who is a commentator. He makes $10 million a year talking about sports. These kids that are Stephen A. He's a commentator. He makes $10 million.
Wow.
He just signed a $10 million a year contract with ESPN.
No, I like how you said that again. He's a commentator,
so
$10 million a year. Yeah.
Yeah, so like, what about the cinematography? But what about breaking down editing? Eric
Right.
Spoelstra, head coach of the Miami Heat, was the video guy. He was breaking down video for years for the Miami Heat before he got a coaching chance. Like, he's the video coordinator. What about the manager? What about the sports medicine part where they're doing surgery? What about the accountant? I just told you my son has a business finance degree. He learns how to take care of his own money and invest his own money. It's just so many components to the sports piece that our kids don't take advantage of. Officials, NBA officials make six figures. They make 6 figures to make bad calls. High school officials right now make $82 a game. High school officials, $82. So just imagine and that's part-time. So just imagine if you ref 4 or 5 games a week. That's $500 extra a week. $500 extra a week is $26,000 extra a year. If you make
Wow.
$500 extra a week, you make $26,000 extra a year, part-time. So it's just so many other things. And these kids don't understand how hard it is, how much you have to invest, how much you have to take care of your body, how much you have to take care of your mental, how much you have to put into it, how many parties you're going to miss, how many football games on Friday night at the high school you're going to miss, how many movie theater visits you're going to miss, how many girlfriends you're going to break up with just due to their not understanding. Like, you don't understand how much they have to invest in it. Like, you have to love it. Like, you have to love it. So, it's not the only way to get there. It was the way
So
that I got.
how important is it? Because like with Toya here, she's very supportive of Teedric and all of her boys. She is. How important is the family structure for these kids coming into your program?
In order for a kid to come into the program and for us to have an impact on that kid, the parent has to understand us and well and beyond. They have to be on board. We have to have the same conversation. We have to have the same route for this kid. We have to have the same goals for this kid. Because one thing I'm going to do is hold kids accountable. You can't pay me enough to bring a kid in and tell me how to work with your kid. Like, I'm sorry, there's not enough money in the world for me to do that. It's just not. You're not gonna do that for me, because that means if you have to do that, you're not gonna trust me, and that means also everything that I do, you're gonna undermine me. Oh, don't listen to Coach Chris. I told him to do this with you. I told him not to do that. So the kid's not gonna respect me, and if the kid's not gonna respect me, we're gonna have an issue. I'm gonna say something to your child that's gonna make him very uncomfortable.
He is. He will.
Yep.
He
Call him
will.
out.
He will.
Well, it looks like they agree
You will
with
call the
you.
parent out too.
Yeah, I'll call the parent out too.
He'll call the parent out too.
Yeah. Because we're for the skill center is for the community. We created the skill center to give not just basketball skills, give kid life skills, the essential skills, the skills to be able to relate to people, respond to people, respect people. Like, we want to give kids every skill under one roof. If I want to help Teedric get a job, guess what? I'm going to give them those employability skills as well under one roof. So that's why we named it the Skill Center. We just use youth development to get to that kid, youth development through sports to get to that kid, to reach the kid.
Yeah.
You're frozen. It's like I wowed you or wowed you. You're like,
So tell my viewers what it is that they need to do if they want to get in touch with you, be a part of your program, what website. Give us that information before we get out of here.
So we got to talk about the YES program. Did y'all talk about the YES program? Just a little bit on the YES program?
Okay.
Let's talk about the YES program.
So we were blessed to receive a 2-year, $800,000 grant from the government.
Nice.
And we are impacting young ladies, 6th and 7th grade girls that live in empowerment zone or that live in the county. Our job is to introduce them to sport or introduce them to play. So in that, it's a research-based grant. We have an intervention side and a control side. Intervention side gets everything. They get all the bells and whistles. The control side gets social and emotional learning, and that's it. But we want to recruit 300 girls. We need help recruiting 300 girls. All of our stuff is online. All of our programs are online right now. So we offer yoga, we offer hip hop dance, we offer workouts, we offer karate, hip hop karate. I mean, we offer anything just to keep these young ladies moving for an hour a day. We also offer health and nutrition workshops online. So we give them all their food, teach them how to make healthy snacks, healthy meals with what they have in their house. We talk about social and emotional learning. for young ladies, just meeting where they are as young ladies, talking about them as young ladies. And we just do a lot of movement. So right now we're in year 2. We're one of 18 in the entire country to receive this grant. One of 18 in the country, 1 of 2 in the state of Florida. And we're blessed to keep it going. We have an option for year 3 based on our results, based on our outcomes. So we're working hard to get towards that. But it's a free program. So if I have a young lady that wants to play in our basketball league, that's a part of the intervention program, my job is to pay for her to play in the basketball program. If they want to play and come train with me, my job is to pay for them to train with me. If their little brother or sister has to come in tow, my job is to find something for that little brother or sister to do. If they have no transportation, our job is to eliminate all barriers to get them there to where they compete and they can be introduced to the sport and educated on the sport and educated on life and themselves. We also offer free tutoring online right now, just due to COVID. So we offer free tutoring for any kid.
Yep.
We also offer free SAT, and ACT prep for any kid. So robotics. We have the different STEM program. We just received the Steve Young and Jerry Rice 8 to 80 esports grant. So they're building us an esports arena. So our kids can not just be consumers of esports, they can learn how to make the games. They can learn how to get paid from the games. So it's just a whole piece that we're going into that we're just trying to introduce and impact our community.
So it sounds like a lot of your program is for anybody, even the kids here in Orlando. And a lot of people all over can take advantage of at least some of the virtual aspect.
Yes.
Correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
For the free tutoring and things like that, we impact our county just because we don't want to overwhelm our tutors or our
right.
I guess the tutor. Yeah, that sounds so weird, but yeah,
it does.
Yeah, it does, tutor. So we want to impact we want to make sure we take care of our community before we can expand anywhere else. We have to be able to play a role and impact our community before we can go off and conquer the rest of the world.
Well, I want you to stick around because we have a special gift for you, Teedric, the Ella Johnson Show, because, I really believe in giving back as well to our youth and having this platform for Coach Chris to talk about his program, because it does take a village. And, being from Telebas, me being from Monroeville, Alabama, we have that same connected mindset when it comes to being a part of our youth and being positive. So this is where it came from, Teedric. I want you to take a look at this. Who's that?
My grandma.
Yes, that is Grandma. Well, I want you to know that your grandma is my sister. And because of her, and she
he said he knew that.
He said he knew that.
Yeah.
Well, she's my sister, and she also has been very inspirational to me, even though she's no longer with us. But she has been really speaking to me. And when I came and was at your game, I was just sitting there, of course, as I was yelling at you and telling you to get that ball back because you had a turnover. But in between time, I was thinking about, I'm a writer. Auntie Ella is a writer. And I'm doing a children's series that's coming up. Well, I said, what am I going to do this series about? Something I've been thinking about. And one of the gifts that you will get is you will be one of the characters in my series as Tee-Boi. So I'm going to have my artist take care of a cartoon picture of you. So you're going to be in the book as Tee-Boi. That's your first gift. Yay!
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
The second gift is I want you to take a look at this. You see that? That's Mahogany Kids. Now, my business is Mahogany Motivations LLC. And I came up with this guess what t-shirts because my granddaughter, Soraya, always says, Grandma, guess what? Guess what? So what we want to do with these t-shirts is we want to have a special motivational message on the back each month. It'll be a different message. Now, where you come into that, did you see that logo with the 2 kids on it? You're going to have your own t-shirt. My graphic artist is going to take this picture and he's going to put you in the middle in your basketball uniform, and those are going to be your shirts. Now, it gets better than that, okay? You're going to be able to sell every shirt that I'm going to make the initial purchase to order the shirts, but I'm going to hand them over to you. Every shirt that you sell is going to be your profit. But here's the catch. I want your mom to set up a portion of that for you when you graduate from school, and the other portion has to go to the Skills Center.
Yes, ma'am.
Deal?
Yes.
Because now we're all benefiting. And I want all of your kids at your gym to have the t-shirt, but we're going to make it very affordable, like maybe $2 for the kids at the center, so that we're spreading this positivity. And here's another thing about the t-shirts, Teedric. The back of the t-shirt, because you have been learning so much from the Skills Center, I want you to come up with a motivational message, and your message is going to be on the back of that t-shirt in your handwriting. So you're going to get to write the message. My artist that makes all of my t-shirts is going to take your handwritten message and put it on the back of that t-shirt. Yay! Are you excited? Well, here's the very final. Here's the very final. I want to make sure that I have everything on there that I said. You're the Tee-Boi on the back, and then the logo. Well, the very final thing that you're going to have, and your mother already has it, Mahogany Motivations LLC, which is my company. I also have Women at Work International nonprofit. But my staff, we have given your mom, for you, $200 just for you to spend.
Man, hey,
thank you.
Teedric, I need some gas money.
You heard Coach Chris?
Coach Chris needs gas money. You got it?
Say, I got you.
I got you.
All right, that's what's up. Don't go buy.
But this is all
about either.
What you say, Coach Chris?
You better not go buy no new Kobe's either.
Oh no!
Look at him. Look at him. He like.
And you know, I might go around mess with me, get me some Kobe Bruce Lee's. You know.
Okay.
Uh-oh. If anything, you need to learn how to make your own.
You got to get him at least $60 to fill up his truck.
Huh?
See how the money dwindles away? It goes fast, baby. It
goes 140.
Fast. But listen, this is just our way of saying.
Okay, you can give him 20.
20.
This is just our way of saying keep up the good work, Teedric. You know, what you're learning at the Skills Center is very important. He's teaching you accountability. And as you get older, you will see why that is so important. Because there are people now that if they would have gone to the Skills Center, we wouldn't have a lot of the issues we have in our country right now. So being accountable, being responsible, being disciplined, and having love and always looking out for your people is going to be very important. So we want you to enjoy doing all of that. Now, I will get with your mom on the design for the logo. The shirts, when they get ordered, I will send them directly to Tampa. And I want you to have integrity. And the reason I'm doing this is so that you can learn some things about business. And the things that I want you to start putting those things in that you're learning. And you're going to have to learn how to have integrity, because I'm not going to be watching you. I'm just going to give you the shirts. And whatever you sell them for, half goes to you into an account. And the other half goes to the Skills Center, so that we can make it affordable for all the kids to have a t-shirt. Okay?
So you're splitting the money between you and the Skills Center.
Okay.
Okay.
So
that's right.
I know.
I bought it first too.
Uh-oh.
See, look at that. You sold shirts already.
I'll buy 1, 2, 3, 4.
I know
Wonderful.
what else I
See?
can do.
So you already got 6 shirts sold.
I know what else you can do. Just
What's
put this
that?
handsome face on the shirt.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. Well,
said
my
what?
artist, he wanted to put his handsome picture on the
Yeah,
shirt.
he said to put his handsome face on the shirt.
Man, stop playing, man.
What's that?
I'm just getting it so I can throw darts at it, bro.
Oh, you heard Coach Chris?
What he said?
He getting it so he can throw darts at it.
No more money for
Uh-oh.
you.
Well, no, I think that you're gonna do great, Teedric, because I watched you when we were at the basketball, and I saw your personality, and I said this kid has something that he doesn't realize how valuable it is, because you weren't shy and you were talking to that you knew no strangers, and I know a lot of that comes from what you're teaching him, Coach Chris, because I see a young man who, and I just think about all the kids his age. What if all of them were at your center learning this? Because I know that some of the kids that come to your program probably don't have fathers at home. And you and your staff have become like parental figures to these kids. And I think that's so, so important. So I just want to thank you for coming on the show and talking about your program and offering, especially for the girls to come for free. I mean, you can't beat that with a stick. That's awesome.
Well, if we didn't have parents like Miss Toya, this wouldn't be possible. So, she's an amazing, amazing, amazing mother. Like, I don't think she gets enough credit for what she does for her kids. She is a blessing, not just to her kids, but to the skill center as well. Because anything we ask her to do, she'll do it. She's there all the time. It's like, I don't know, she's there more than we are. And so she is a blessing. So
that's John.
So it's not a thing of, what we're doing. It's just, it's a thing of what she's doing. Like we're just we're just complimenting her where she needs to be complimented. That's it. We're just helping her where she needs to be helped. She's doing all that. We're just playing a role. We're part of his process. That's it. We're just playing a small role in his process. So it's just so many other people impacting his life. But his mom, she's locked and loaded, man. She's doing an awesome job.
You really are, Shay. You really
all
are.
doing an awesome job.
Yes. Well, I want to give everybody an applause, because that's one of the reasons I wanted Toya to come onto the broadcast, because I want parents to see that this is what it takes. This little group right here, people that are applauding them, people that are supporting them, and people that are teaching. It takes all of us to turn Teedric into that star that he wants to be. He wants to be like you, Coach, travel the world and be a professional NBA player. So I was trying to get some free season tickets right now. I'm just saying. TT's gonna always try to get it for free, baby.
Yeah.
The skill center, Coach Chris, Coach John, and Celeste, they're doing great things, and I see their vision and I believe in it. So I try to support as much as I can.
Well,
thank all of you. Thank all of you. Is there anything you want to say, Coach Chris, before we get out of here, about how people can go to your website? Give us any information we need about you before we get out of here.
Go to www.theskillcenter.org. That's www.theskillcenter.org. Or you can call me, 813-323-3104. Call me, text me. Anyway, I don't know. Just, let us, if we can impact or provide services, whatever you need, just hit us up and we'll see how we can help you. That's it. We're here to provide service to our community.
All right, Shay, is there anything you want to say before we get out of here? And you too, Teedric? You get the last word, Teedric.
I just got to say thank you.
Everybody.
Thank everybody.
We appreciate y'all very much.
Christian says hi, Coach Chris and Auntie Ella.
Okay, tell them hi. TJ, I have great news for you. Listen, I'm looking at a lot of the messages that are the people that are commenting, and you're selling T-shirts already. I have one person that says, I want 5. I want 2. What? Look at you. That is what I'm talking about.
They're going to get that T-shirt. I promise. They're going to get that T-shirt.
How about this? Somebody said 5. Man, I want 4 too, man.
All right.
I ain't going to let nobody outbid me, Teedric.
You are very competitive. I love it.
And on the back
Well,
of your
listen,
shirt, it better say "That's what's up."
You heard it?
I'm going to say, make others better.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Nice.
There's
Well,
your
listen,
first
guys,
motivation.
this has been so, yeah, I want you to think about that. But Shay, we will get together as soon as that logo is done. We'll get the shirts in production. It's not going to take that long. I'm going to, on my end, get some of those shirts to my friends in Africa so that the kids there, and that's going to be the shirts I purchase. I want to get them on. I want it to be international. So I will have some of that order shipped directly to Liberia because I do a lot of work there as well with my nonprofit. So we want to spread the love, and everybody's going to know you because you're going to be on that t-shirt, Teedric.
Bye.
Well, I want to thank you guys all so much for tuning in to the broadcast. Thank you to Coach Chris. Thank you, Shay. Teedric, if you are watching from Facebook, please share the broadcast because we want everybody to be able to go to www.thelifecenter.com or .org.
The Skill Center.
The Skill Center. .org. All right, let's give that again. The website again is www.theskillcenter.org. So go ahead and go there right now and check it out. If you have kids that need some help with their homework or, just see what's available to you, because this is not just for Tampa, but there's some of the aspect of the program can be available to you no matter where you are. So thank you so much for what you do, Coach Chris. Thank you, Shay. Thank you, Celeste. Thank you, John, your team, everybody out there. And I hope you guys have a nice time. But I want everybody that's watching, please tune in tomorrow night. I am interviewing Latoya Wells. She's a mom in Waco, Texas, and her daughter was killed by her 20-year-old boyfriend. And she is fighting out there to make sure that this doesn't happen to another parent who loses their child to domestic violence at the hands of an intimate partner. So I want you guys to tune in tomorrow because what's going on with her is real. And some of the things coming up here on the Ella Johnson Show, we're going to have a whole week of nothing but domestic violence. I have been thrust into this as a platform because of what happened to my cousin who was killed as a result of domestic violence. And it's all about giving back and spreading the word. It's because what we want you to do and learn from tomorrow night's broadcast is we want you to get out before it's too late. Well, if all minds are satisfied, we're going to get out of here. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time right here on the Ella Johnson Show.
Thank you both.
Thank you. Have a nice one.
See ya.
You too.